because I believe it has the potential, based on what the discussions we've had, it has the potential to revolutionize helping agents and agencies be more efficient in the Medicare space, but can serve as kind of like you call, as like a front door to helping potentially millions of Medicare beneficiaries around the country.
Yeah. So,
which is a bold claim.
It is. Look, I'm here because I believe, and we've assembled a team of incredible folks that are going to change the Medicare space.
Yes.
This is going to revolutionize the Medicare space, both, for agents, but also for the senior population.
What is going on? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. Man, I'm excited for today for multiple reasons, and I'm telling you what, there's going to be massive amounts of nuggets dropped on this podcast. Our guest, he won't brag on himself, so I'm going to do it a little bit, man. Highly intelligent dude. He's worked for, Nike and Kroger and a bunch of other, big operations. He's even been the dude that's been part of startups, and he's now a part of a AI company that is servicing Medicare agents and agencies, and is absolutely crushing it, in my opinion, with the tools that they are creating to help agents and agencies be more efficient and more productive at servicing Medicare beneficiaries around the planet. Also, once again, if you would like early releases of the podcast, or you want to hear the behind the scenes additional questions that I ask our guest at the end of the podcast, as well as live dials, courses, all the things, you can again check out castudios.tv. If you're not a member there yet, I would highly encourage you to do so. And so as I transition to our guest today, we're going to talk a lot about some of the stuff they're doing is literally you can, when we talk about AI, we're going to get into a bunch of this, but you can upload an entire, book of business and do an entire analysis, and it'll do analysis for you and show all the changes for your book of business within very quickly. Also, there's a bunch of other things when it comes to helping you serve your beneficiaries better. I'm really thankful to Tony Holland for the introduction. And so please welcome the CEO of Livmor.ai. I can tell you what, don't miss a second of this. It's going to be unbelievable. Mr. David Kohel.
Hey, Cody. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm been loving the conversations with you that we've had online and now in person today. You have flown all the way from Oregon.
I have.
And are now in Springfield. Have you ever been to Springfield?
I haven't been to Springfield. I've never been to Missouri.
Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to Missouri.
And I came into what supposedly was the storm of the year.
Yeah, I think you did last night. Yeah, it was a lot of lightning and thunderstorms and stuff was moving around. But you made it and you're here.
Yeah.
And we're grateful of that. Before we get into, I want to get into your story a little bit. I'm very impressed by you. It makes sense why you have been selected to be the CEO to really drive this initiative with Livmor. For those that, I would say right off the bat, what is Livmor.ai? Before we jump into your story, and I got a ton of questions for today. How is it, because I believe it has the potential, based on what the discussions we've had, it has the potential to revolutionize helping agents and agencies be more efficient in the Medicare space, but can serve as kind of like you call, as like a front door to helping potentially millions of Medicare beneficiaries around the country.
Yeah. So,
which is a bold claim.
It is. Look, I'm here because I believe, and we've assembled a team of incredible folks that are going to change the Medicare space.
Yes.
This is going to revolutionize the Medicare space, both, for agents, but also for the senior population. The ultimate, the moonshot is how do we help carriers design better coverage for seniors?
Mm-hmm.
And so, we selected very carefully and put a lot of thought into how we approach building Livmor. one of the biggest challenges in all of this is there's a lot of systems that are out there today. There's a ton of systems, great systems.
True.
And many of them focus on quote and enroll. Many of them focus on the CRM, but there's not actually a single ecosystem that really does it all. And so our goal and our purpose, our ethos in everything that we do is center our thinking around the senior and find ways to help them worry less and live more. And so, the ultimate goal for us is how do we build a system that really is for the senior, but enable all of the relationships around them? And that really starts with the agent.
It does.
Who's educating them and helping them through such a defining moment, that really will define how they're cared for the next year. And so,
yeah, and you can tell that's very important to y'all and what you're doing. And at the center of everything, you're creating AI tools to accomplish that. And I really believe like when companies start with like that is the core mission and the driver for what we're doing, is at the end of the day, we want this to enrich seniors' lives. I mean, there's no question it's going to help a ton of them, but also I love that it's centered around focusing on helping the agent be more efficient, because there's enough people trying to find ways to remove the agent or the agency. It does not seem to be a focus for y'all.
Well, look,
which is amazing.
There's a graveyard of platforms out there in the digital space that have worked really, really hard to find ways to engage the senior directly. And if you look over the last 5 years or so, nobody's been really able to cross that 20% threshold of getting seniors to sign up on their own.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
It's true.
Right? You can't replace human connection yet. It doesn't exist. And I think even far into the future, when we talk about AI, and right now we have narrow AI, right? In the future we'll have more general AI or some form of general intelligence. But being able to really master the way that an agent creates the relationship and is a trusted advisor, an educator, and resource for somebody, that doesn't exist today. So still 80% of every interaction as it relates to enrolling somebody in Medicare happens through an agent. And I don't see that going away.
I don't either.
Right? Even when you look at some of the best agents and agencies that are out there, there are still challenges with things like data and having a person in the middle of that to be able to find ways to help a beneficiary throughout the year is just absolutely critical. They play a critical role in the entire process, not just getting somebody signed up, but as a trusted advisor and resource for them or their caretaker or whoever within their circle throughout the entire continuum of their care needs. And so,
yeah, it's amazing. Also, at any point during this, when you're listening to this, you're like, hey, I would like to learn more and actually schedule a time to talk with David or Leah on their team. You can go to Livmor, no E's, LIVMOR.ai, LIVMOR.ai. I would highly encourage you to check it out and schedule a call with their team. Why, if someone's like, okay, what will everybody's favorite radio station, what's in it for me? For the agent or the agency that's like, they're independent, they don't have a rich tech platform behind them, or they're looking for something better, an improvement, or they're looking to make, streamline processes, or like you said earlier before we started talking, like how do I look at all the changes within my book of business very quickly without me having to do all this manual work, et cetera, et cetera. What's in it for them?
Yeah, so the way that we've designed the system is certainly around the senior, certainly around the agent, but when it comes to how an agent searches for information, plan details based on a specific beneficiary's profile and needs, they're oftentimes flipping through. They'll find stuff online, but then they're flipping through paperwork, right? And our goal in all of this, as a core efficiency metric, is how do we build a system that is built in such a way that an agent never has to look at an evidence of coverage document or never has to look at a summary of benefits, or the provider directory doesn't go stale, right? So all of our data is updated on a cadence, right? So plan information is updated quarterly. Our provider directory is updated on a monthly basis.
Wow.
And we have direct integrations with carriers now. And our drug formulary is updated monthly and quarterly. So we do a full refresh quarterly, and we update, I think it's on a monthly basis.
Wow.
And so, for the agent, it's how do I never open up one of those documents? So our plan finder functionality in all of this has a level of depth to be able to sort, search, and find plans for a specific set of needs. And it includes everything from not just your standard supplemental benefits, dental, vision, but what are the specific services that are covered under those, and what do they cost? And does it cover implants, or does it have a transportation benefit? And what are the requirements around transportation benefits in this specific plan? Or what are the over-the-counter benefits, right? And how do I access these benefits? All of that information is right there. You click into plan details, and you have a whole list of menus that are incredibly easy to just pop through and find just the detailed information you're looking for. The second is we have our co-pilot that we call Ask Aaron, and Aaron is really a way for an agent to do some deep thinking against a plan, or compare multiple plans, or ask general questions about Medicare. What are the eligibility requirements? Do I have a certain profile of a client that's in this age group, makes this amount of money, has these prescriptions, these doctors, and is in a senior living facility? What's the best plan for me, right?
Wow.
Or what's the best plan for that beneficiary? You can ask that right in Ask Aaron.
And how long would it take for Aaron to respond with really good answer in that example?
10 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, 10, 15 seconds. I mean, depending on how deep you go with that.
What did it look like? But what does it look like for an agent or agency that doesn't have an Ask Aaron as an example? Just for those that maybe even that are newer to this space too.
Yeah, they're flipping through documents. They're searching around online. Oftentimes we spoke to one agency where they actually pick up the phone and they verify whether or not a provider is in network.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, every time.
Who were they calling?
Provider groups to see if they accept a certain coverage. It's wild.
For someone like you, how does that make you feel that our industry is still so antiquated?
Well, it's an interesting question, because from a technologist point of view, from an entrepreneurial point of view, and from somebody who loves solving problems, I look at this space and say, how can this really be happening? But as you dig further, it's pretty easy to see, right? There's a sea of information that's out there, and there's no standards that carriers have to follow for how they present data. Right? Everything's in a PDF document, right? CMS has done a great job in digitizing plan details, but provider networks are still all over the board. You've got some that are in a PDF doc, some that have a link that goes to a provider's website where you can only do a single search at a time for a specific provider. I mean, it's really wild. So it's a bit of this just renegade path of data. And for us, one of the things that makes us really different in all of this is the first problem we attempted to solve wasn't how do we build a system. We knew that would be an outcome, but the first problem we solved was, and this was thanks to AI, we were able to flip the model around and point AI at this sea of data and say, go make sense of it. Go make sense of it. And how do we structure it? And how do we pull this all together from 100 different data sources? 5 billion points of data are living in our system. Like, how do we make sense of all this and then put it together in a way where somebody can actually digest the data and make sense of it on their own. And so that took almost 2 years to build the models to be able to do that effectively. And there was a lot of trial and error, but we finally feel like we nailed it pretty well.
I would say so. And two, how much, like, when you start talking about efficiency, I have more clarity on the incredible amount of efficiency it creates for agencies now after hearing you explain that. I'm guessing you guys do too, by the way. Also, if you're enjoying this at any point, comment AI as an example, just to say, hey, David, I hear you, I'm seeing you, I like this so far. And again, if you want to go to more information, schedule a call, Livmor.ai, LIVMOR. One of the things I noticed is the amount of, how many hours do you think it saves an agent during like one AEP?
So,
hard to give an exact answer,
so
but
we've spoken to 30, 40, 50 agencies over the last several months, and we did a private preview of a couple agencies of our product, and there were a lot of great things that we learned from that. The data on how long it takes an agent is really all over the board. And so we heard from one agent that it takes them for their book of business several weeks to analyze the changes, even after looking at an ANOC. And so, if you have a book of business of 1,000 folks that you're signing up for Medicare, come in, use our plan analyzer tool, upload your entire book of business, and boom, instantly it'll tell you all the changes for their plan in the coming year. And not only will it tell you all the changes, but if you actually upload their prescriptions, if you upload their providers, if you upload, certain requirements that they might have, the system can analyze all of that.
Man.
And it'll pop out and it'll tell you, hey, this drug, which was, $10 a month in the current plan year, in 2026, it's going up to $125 a month.
Wow.
Or things have changed tiers, or this benefit is no longer covered, or your provider dropped out of network.
That is incredible.
Yeah. And so we've heard anywhere from hours per day to weeks of time, depending on the size of the book. Mm-hmm. We know that one of the biggest challenges is certainly comparing plans and understanding what's changed. But even bigger than that is when somebody has a specific requirement and that data is buried somewhere, it's almost impossible to find. I mean, you're looking through 10, 50, 100 pages worth of stuff, or you're control Fing through a PDF to try and find things. And sometimes the way that you define it and the way that they've defined it in the PDF are different. So you're looking for different words. And so our Ask Aaron has been specifically trained for a variety of linguistic variation, which means you can use acronyms. You can say MOOP, right? Monthly out of pocket, or maximum out of pocket. Or you can say maximum out of pocket. You can say out of pocket. And there's a variety of terms in the system that fall into this dictionary, that effectively a dictionary that we use, or thesaurus. So you don't have to worry about that stuff.
Incredible. Also, in what ways I've got from a agency owner, marketer standpoint, I've got my wheels are turning on, like, okay, I feed Ask Aaron, or the is it Ask Aaron where you upload your book of business?
That's Plan Analyzer.
That's the Plan Analyzer.
Yeah.
You guys will see that when you go to the site. Plan Analyzer. It shows all the changes. And then how would an agent use that data to keep a higher percentage of their book? And then because of this, it's actually increasing retention. There's more transparency to the member that they're trying to service, because the member's wondering what the changes are too. And the agent doesn't normally know.
Yeah.
Or you got to do it one at a time, which again, you're talking about this stuff, and I'm like, it makes it feel like agencies are, it makes it feel like our industry is a dinosaur. You know, when I'm starting hearing this stuff.
It is, but again, there's been a variety of companies that have tried to change that, but until there's standards that are put in place, it's going to be tough to do without tools like AI, right?
Yep.
And so the benefit for an agent is really, where do I focus my time, right? And if I look at all of these various changes, if I know that 20% of my book there is no change, maybe I can send them an enrollment link or a quick message that says, hey, there's nothing that's changed in your plan. You want to update your profile, or you want to have a call to talk about what's working, what's not. But it allows you to focus your time on that portion of the book where there are material changes. And you can at least look at that and you can determine maybe there's different categories of changes. Maybe some of these things, so a gym membership's no longer covered. Okay. But if I know that dental is a really big deal, and comprehensive dental as well as, periodontics are a critical thing for you, and that's no longer covered, well, I know that's going to be an expensive year for you if we don't get that sorted out, or if your doctor's no longer covered, or if your medication. So I can focus my time now, and I can use Plan Finder to find plans that now fit that profile more effectively. So my calls with these folks are they're much deeper now, right?
Yeah.
Efficiency is one side of it, but we're enabling efficiency to make the conversations richer, better, make the relationships better with an agent and their book as well.
Yeah. Could you organize that? Does it spit out the data in a way that you could then almost send a letter to all of your members on here's what's happening, and then boom, everybody is communicating with all the changes?
So I love that you asked that question.
Okay. I didn't know to ask that question, by the way, so this is good.
So the way that the system works today, and look, we're very early on in our evolution as a business, and so we focused on some core areas within the ecosystem to change. The way that the system works today is you can filter and you can sort all of those results. You could even remove results that there are no changes, right? You can download a PDF for each of the individual customers that are changed. So you could download the PDF of those changes and email that to a beneficiary.
Wow. You could download an individual PDF?
Yeah.
For each person?
For each person or the entire
thing? No matter
thing.
if it's thousands of clients?
Doesn't matter.
Dang.
Next year,
okay,
which is the exciting part, is we've got some functionality around some CRM we've got some CRM functionality that we'll be putting in place early next year that will allow you to do those through AI, and it will do it automatically if you set it up that way. So if you set up the system where you want it to communicate to a beneficiary when something is changed, right? Or if, medications aren't covered or whatever, you can set up the system and configure it with custom messaging where it will outbound communicate to your book of business, whoever it is, of all of their changes.
For you,
with a link to set up some time with me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so,
and how does that run? How does that happen?
Yeah. So we're putting in place some agentic AI, which are these little agents that work in the background, that essentially, as different things happen in the system, and the system sees data changes, it will automatically cue the system to shoot out communications. You could have it sent out to the beneficiary. You could have it sent out to yourself, right? Admin, whoever. You can do it for your office and have it sent out to all the different agents in your office where their plans are changing. Yeah,
that's crazy, and that's coming out.
That'll be next year. So it'll be the first half of next year.
Wow! Oh my gosh, dude, that's and you could set it up to where it just happens.
Yeah.
And it just works for you.
Yeah. It'll notify you, so there'll be a dashboard where it'll notify you as the agent that it's been sent out, so you're not getting a cold call that, goodness, a whole bunch of stuff has happened. I don't know what to do. At least you'll have clarity as the agent that these things have gone out.
I think you know this, but like, I hear this, and we're not trying to replace your admin, but there are Medicare agencies that have entire admin staff, and their whole job is literally, and they're paid $50,000 a year, general example, and their whole job is to look up all the changes, communicate those changes, and schedule time.
Yep.
And this does that.
It does that. Yeah.
Soon.
And so, and now think about, as a
That's
business
crazy.
owner, right? You want to build your initiatives around how do I increase revenue, right? How do I decrease costs? How do I make myself more efficient? Or just the bucket of stuff that I have to do from a regulatory and legal perspective. Mm-hmm. Think about that $50,000 admin that you're paying to do all of that work. If you can turn them to a revenue generator now,
yes,
from right, and so now there's your efficiency play. You've now turned them from a cost center to somebody who can go generate revenue for your business.
Yes.
Right?
It's huge.
Yeah. And use Ask Aaron to train. You can use Ask Aaron to train new agents, to learn about Medicare, learn the details, right? Understand what is an AHIP, right? How, what's the certification framework look like? All of that stuff.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
Goodness gracious, dude. There's levels and levers to what we're talking about, and there's also additional ones that you guys are working on that we're not even aware of.
Next year's going to be a really powerful year for us. As I said in the beginning, we've centered our thinking around the senior, and then we've built this ecosystem, this system around the agent. Next year, we will have a system that is built around both the agent and their client at the same time. So facilitating better conversations, just completely purpose-built for outbound, inbound communication, surveys. How do I do a health check mid-year with a beneficiary to see if their plan's working for them? Right? Just queue one up out of this system, or send out a survey to see, during AEP, is their coverage working for them or not?
Yeah.
And so,
probably shouldn't say this, but whatever you're charging, it's not enough. Just gonna throw that out there for those that are like, hey, how do I get in on the ground floor?
I will relay that back to Leah, my partner in crime, who's our president, and she'll be happy to hear.
I'm serious. Like, this is really, really cool. And I think too, like, the reason I say that is, like, I looked at the site and I think it was like, I don't know, a few $100s a month or something. Like,
yeah, I mean, a monthly plan starts at, I think it's $139, right? And crazy. So we have monthly, we have annually, we have a basic version of the platform if you just want some basic features, and then we have a more advanced version of the platform, that Pro, which includes plan analytics, that'll include the CRM mid next year, and a variety of other, managing contracting and licensing is a big part of our roadmap for next year. And when you think about how, as an agency, how do I continue to build this business? Well, getting more clients is a math problem. But you have to get more agents, right? And so how do I make it easy for the agent to come in, learn the business, get certified, right? And so get contracted to be able to sell. And so the entire platform will then next year manage a lot of that process.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So again, if you guys are interested in scheduling a call, learning more, or just looking around, right? Livmor, LiveMor.ai. But I would recommend scheduling a time and say, okay, how can this help my specific agency? I'm going to interrupt the podcast to tell you about our CABOOM leads that are literally blowing up. If you would love to never get disconnected numbers or wrong numbers ever again, then you will love our leads at CABOOM Leads. All of our lead types, we text the prospect a 6-digit security code. They go back in the funnel and put that in to verify that it is a real, accurate cell phone number, and they've responded to a text message. We do this for all of our lead types. If you haven't tried CABOOM Leads, you can use coupon code podcast to get 10% off of your very first order at CABOOM.com. Back to the show. I would love to learn a little bit more about take a few minutes to learn a little bit more about your background, which I plan on diving into sooner, but we got so deep into I learned a absolute insane amount. Hope you guys are learning a ton too. You guys, you share kind of your background and story and how it led to what you're doing now.
Yeah. So I started my career with a startup out of college. And, I born and raised in Jersey, New Jersey.
Cool. Which I came back from yesterday and got in like 2 a.m. last night. Yep. I've always liked Jersey. We've had good turnouts for events there, by the way.
Awesome.
Obviously a highly populated area.
It is especially northern New Jersey is a highly populated area.
It's crazy. You look into like the New York City metro and it's like literally there's more people there than there is in the entire state of Missouri.
Yes. A lot of accents, great pizza.
Yes.
Phenomenal food.
Yes.
There's a lot I miss about the East Coast, but Oregon is.
I was so busy I didn't have any New York pizza. Like I come back, I'm like, what am I doing?
Well,
with my
North
life?
Jersey pizza is really, I gotta say, North Jersey pizza for me. North Jersey pizza and bagels actually are
really good too.
Yeah. It just
I didn't have it either way.
They don't hold a candle to New York, or New York doesn't hold a candle to Jersey.
What?
Yeah.
Dylan, are you hearing this? Are you agreeing with this, or what? He said he hasn't had Jersey pizza.
It's real good.
Maybe I have. I had some pizza in the airport, and it was terrible. It was
Newark?
not what you're talking about. No, it was LaGuardia. But it wasn't even like it was like a random Italian spot we just sat at in the airport in LaGuardia.
Well, next time you go out east, I'll give you a whole variety of spots to hit.
Okay. I love it. I got a new best friend. This is good.
So, I went to the University of Delaware, a small software startup. That was part of my move out to the West Coast. Drove out, which was an interesting experience with people and dogs in one car. And,
From Jersey to
from Delaware.
From Delaware to
Oregon.
Oh my gosh, bro! Yeah. How far is that?
So it's 3,000 miles or something.
How do you even drive? Like, what part of what states do you even go through? You don't stay north the whole time.
No, so we stayed north for a good portion of it.
Okay.
And then we dropped down. I went to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to see what that was.
Cool.
And then dropped down from there and kind of came through the south. And up through Nevada.
Wow.
And up into to Oregon. And I actually went and I lived in a house with up on Mount Ashland. And so it was an incredible experience.
Wow.
And so much fun. And then I left Ashland, which is a small, tiny town in southern Oregon, and came up north to Portland and spent some time working in large businesses. So I went to work for Kroger, and I started as an engineer there, building out a lot of their digital software, which they didn't really have much of a presence at that point.
Wow.
And then from there, I went to Nike, and I started at Nike, running one suite of products, and then started doing some like little turnaround work here and there, and eventually wound up running all brand consumer technology.
Wow.
And
Jeez.
that was a phenomenal experience. But like we were talking earlier, you get to a point where everything that you do is managing an organization and managing the organizations around you so that everybody's working together.
And I think you said there was like 2,000 people on the different teams that you managed. Yeah,
Yep.
That does become definitely organizational management for sure. Jeez.
Yeah, hundreds of millions of dollars in budgets, and you're trying to figure out how to move all these pieces, and you have moments of layoffs here and all kinds of stuff. But the one thing you're not doing is you're not building anything. Right? You're building teams. You're managing people's careers. I love doing that. I love leading people.
Yes.
But I have to have attached to that I'm building and delivering something at the same time. And you wind up doing less and less of that. So I made the decision. I had this moment where my first child was born. And I asked myself this question of, what's really important to me? And what do I want my child to look back at my life and say? And building shoes, while I loved my time and my experiences and the friendships and all of those things.
Can't even imagine.
And I still cherish them to this day. It wasn't the right long-term move for me. I've always been passionate about healthcare, agriculture, these systems that are archaic and have had very little innovation. So I made the decision to leave Nike, and I went to a health tech startup in the Pacific Northwest. It was the biggest. And growing, and they just raised a whole bunch of money. And I got to build and invent and create, as well as lead a team and an organization. And that, to me, brought me all the way back to where I started my career, as well as made use of all these incredible experiences that I had throughout. And that was really a moment for me where I realized not only did I make the right decision, but I need more of that in my life.
Yeah.
And I need to get back to that. And so
cool.
I spent the next several years in the start, either advising companies, investing, or working at a variety of startups. And, I sat on the board of a medical company in the Wisconsin area that was really focused on telehealth and functional medicine. So there's a huge passion for me as it relates to caring for people. And that all wound up coming to a head when I came to what was Tabor, now Livmor, which was, this incredible opportunity to help this population where we've designed this system to care for them. We've designed Medicare to care for a population that needs it so incredibly much. But we've designed it in a way that is so difficult to follow and so difficult to find information. I mean, the amount of seniors after an AEP that are either not accurately covered because, so they're pulling a bunch of money out of pocket, or they wind up switching plans is a ridiculously high number.
And some people don't have access to all the plans, the agents, or they're financially incentivized to sell certain plans over others. It's not at the benefit of the consumer a lot of times.
Yeah, and so this was an opportunity for us to, let's figure out the data piece first, and then how do we build an experience that certainly makes the agent's life easier, but really prioritizes the senior in the end. And for us, there's this long-term goal of how do we help carriers? How do we help CMS, right? How do we help carriers design better, more effective plans? How do we help CMS, build a better structural foundation around this system so it's easier for people to navigate, right? And there's a variety of ways that AI can help in that, everything from just basic data to prior auths to you name it, right? There's incredible opportunity right now, but it's going to require a lot of partnership, a lot of hand-holding. People still, even now, ChatGPT came out in November of 2022. People are still using it like a search engine.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
right?
It's like replaced Google for some people.
Yeah, and crazy. So, and you've got a lot of businesses that are implementing it internally, and one of the challenges that they're now facing is, it's essentially become the new strategy expert. So employees are outsourcing all of their thinking to a co-pilot now. Right?
It's true.
And so,
what do you think that does to the? What would you say it does to the team member that is just doesn't have to think?
I think it turns them into a mushroom. Right? They sit in the dark corner, and they just sit there and sit there and sit there and grow and grow and grow, and they pop out whatever they need to pop out. And And I've always said this to all of my teams. The one thing you can't manufacture is the enthusiasm around either an industry or a specific problem that unites everybody, or
Amen.
A specific set of goals, right? And I actually think in a lot of cases it's doing business, co-pilots specifically, not AI, are doing companies a disservice in that, right? Whereas if we're on this platform called SkyPoint, which has been a spectacular partner for us in getting our products built and out the door. And, when you look at a platform like that, which enables a business to actually build AI agentic models to make their business better versus giving a co-pilot out to your employees to, in some cases, make them dumber, right? Which is a scary proposition.
It is scary.
And so, we were really one of the areas where our AI is a lot different than the other co-pilot, or our co-pilot Ask Aaron is a lot different than the other co-pilots that are out there. And this is an important distinction, is we have really rigid boundaries around Medicare. So we have really rigid internal boundaries, which are, we have pulled in all of this data and we've digitized it and we've assembled it in a really unique way to make finding plan information really easy. But we also have external data sources that we use, CMS and some others, where we have a very protected boundary around what you can actually ask this system. It's used to help you be better. It's used to give you, I'm an agent, now I've got an agent and a half, or I have an agent plus my own assistant in all of this, right? So how do I make you one, and how do I take you from 1 to 1.5 to then 10 to then 1,000? Like, that's the value of where AI can be really, really helpful. But you've got to create those boundaries to ensure that the information that you're getting from it's super accurate, right? And it's contextually valuable to the problems that you're solving.
Yes. And you nailed it on the head too, like getting accurate information that you can trust. We've even seen, and I'm not saying I've personally witnessed this a bunch, but I've witnessed it some where, you're using AI, you're using some, using ChatGPT, other sources, and you're not getting accurate answers. Or, I remember at one point I was having it help me, and we still use it obviously for different projects, but, I've got some AI friends who are like, yeah, but dude, this AI is way better for that than ChatGPT is. It's created to give you search the internet and give you a really quick answer. Doesn't mean it's going to give you the best answer. It's
helpful for learning. Like, how do I take a concept that I don't understand and break it down, right? So it's great for things like that.
Agreed.
And it's great for like administrative tasks where I want to remove the possibility for manual error, or take variance out of the equation. But if you're using it to answer specific questions, all of these AIs, all of these kind of large commercial co-pilots that are out there were built from all the data that's on the internet. Right?
Yeah, correct.
And so they're not against a very specific data source that's been deliberately and purposefully built for your specific question, right?
Like an Ask Aaron.
Yeah, and so, but I think there's a lot of value to co-pilots in general. I think traditional internet search will go away, but any business that is using a co-pilot really has to be careful. We've seen legal briefs filed, right, that were created through ChatGPT.
Oh no!
That not us personally, but they've been all over the news that have been filed that are citing case law that never existed.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
shut up.
Yeah, it's wild. And then on the other side of that, you see AI doing reading diagnostic imaging better than a radiologist in many cases.
True.
Right? And so you've got these, one is a very, very incredibly valuable use case.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, you just outsourced your thinking to a co-pilot and you got caught. And now there's co-pilots that'll actually read things like a legal brief or a student essay, and it can determine based on patterns in these essays and briefs whether or not a co-pilot was used to create it. It's really, the landscape is
incredible.
Shifting. Yeah.
I wish I'd have known about that when I was in English class, freshman year of college at Baptist Bible College, plagiarized for the first time ever and got kicked out of English class. You know?
No.
I went to Christian
I
schools.
think you did okay.
Did all right, but English was not a strong suit. I'll tell you what, man. You know, dude, this has been unbelievable. I have absolutely had a blast. I do have some extra questions I want to ask you. We have a streaming training platform for insurance agents called CA Studios. We do some extra behind the scenes content. So if you're open, I'd love to ask you some unique, maybe more personal questions after.
Yeah, for sure.
And so thank you for being a part of this. If they want to learn more,
Livmor.ai. Reach out. There's an opportunity to schedule, or you can learn more. We have a ton of resources on the site, and please go to Livmor.ai and reach out.
I love it, buddy. Amazing, super insightful, and thank you for making the trek all the way to Missouri.
Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
Yeah, unbelievable. And I appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. I would love to know, what was your favorite part of this? Like, what stood out to you? What was something David shared? What is, Livmor.ai creating that you believe is going to save your bacon or save you a ton of time or help your admin staff or just help your operation? Maybe you're going to help your seniors live better lives, right? As they're trying to, help seniors stress less and live more, or worry less.
Worry less and live more.
Worry less.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for hanging with us. Appreciate you. I'm about to jump in and ask some additional questions in studio. If you want to see those and get early releases of the podcast, etc., you can go to castudios.tv, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Power Player Podcast. Love you guys. Kaboom.